Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Transformational Tuesdays. It's great to have you back. Today's amazing topic is why practice hot yoga. As you guys know, this is by far one of my passions that brings me happiness from within. And I just really wanted to talk today about why practice hot yoga or any sort of yoga. I particularly practice hot yoga, so one of the reasons to practice hot yoga is not only do you do yoga, but you also sweat. And sweating is just like this beautiful release of bottled things that we have in our body that you just release. You simply release. And another beautiful thing that happens when you practice yoga is it helps to align the chakras in your body. So for those of you that don't know what chakras are, so there's 7 main chakras. Chakras are energetic centers, so that space exists within us. So mostly outside of our being that manifests that we experience here physically, such as the state of our physical health, our emotions, and our thought forms. So once a certain pattern is held in a place long enough or with enough concentration, it has no choice but to manifest. So when we're doing different yoga poses, as I had mentioned, it helps to balance out the chakras. I practice a particular yoga called 26 and 2, and you do 26 postures twice. And every single one of these postures combined help to stretch every muscle in the body and help to balance every chakra in the body. So I wanted to talk to you guys about more specifically what these chakras are. So the first chakra is our root chakra. And the colors that go with the root chakra is actually red. And it's, the root or pelvis area where safety, security, and grounding happening. Centeredness and also abundance its opposite stem opposes from. And then we have also the sacral chakra, which is actually the color orange. And that associates with the reproductive organs, passion, creation, connection, karma, and relationships. And the third is the solar plexus chakra. That's actually the color yellow or gold. It is specifically having to do with gut health, self-empowerment, bravery, courage, soul purpose, vitality, happiness and joy, and self-mastery. And then we have my favorite, which is the heart chakra, which is actually the colors green and pink. And that's associated with the heart, lungs, chest, thymus, higher heart, and all vibrations of love, healing, divine feminine, divine flow, or its opposites, compassion or empathy. And then we also have the throat chakra, which is the color blue. And that represents the throat, thyroid, teeth, jaw, divine self-expression, truth, purpose, creation, and communication. And then the next chakra is the third eye chakra. That's right in between your two eyes. And this associates with the color purple or indigo. And it's also connection to the pineal gland, the brain hemispheres, the eyes, clarity, and intuition. And then we have the crown chakra, which is the color purple or white. And it is associated with the head, the higher self, oneness, unity, divine reflection, consciousness, and enlightenment. And so you might be wondering, okay, what do all these chakras have to do and how does it help my life? For sure. So when you take a yoga class, you'll definitely know what I'm talking about. And so let's say that you have a blocked heart chakra. And when you start to do yoga and you're doing these heart openers, it starts to open up your heart, because what you do in yoga is you are grounding yourself. You're uplifting yourself. Just like a tree is in the ground, you're actually opening up yourself like a tree. What I mean by that, so like in 26 and 2, we do this pose called, it's a heart opener. It's one of the later postures towards the end, but basically you're sitting on your knees and then you put your hands on the back of your hips and then you're opening yourself up. And it makes you really vulnerable. Like after you're in the pose, like you just kind of like want to get into child's pose and like not get back up. But the whole purpose of it is to move your energy. So the other thing that I want to talk about when doing yoga, so in the beginning, one of the things that we do is usually we start like with an om or like a simple meditation, and you start with one word of an intention. You could set your intention to be love. It could be openness. Because what happens is when you set an intention, you can use that throughout your day. And what you do in yoga, you can apply to every aspect of your life. And it's just so amazing. I just would like to share, what yoga has done for me personally. As a lot of you guys know, but for those of you that may not know, this last year and a half, I had my third knee surgery, and I had this incurable disease in my body for 15 years. And the doctors told me that I was never going to walk again and that, there's no cure for this. And I was like, well, watch me. And make a long story short, I basically just decided finally that enough was enough. And for about 4 or 5 years, I could only bend my knee about 90 degrees, a little less than 90. And then it became less and less and less. And it was very difficult to sit down. I always had to elevate my legs. But that was just part of my journey. And so ever since I had my last surgery, and then literally after that, like this disease left my body, I started practicing hot yoga. And it was interesting. Just to back up, I'd like to share with you guys the story before what had happened. So I used to actually work right across the street from this yoga place called Hot 8 Yoga. And it's interesting. I used to go in there quite a few times. And at the time, I wasn't in a position to practice yoga. As I said, I couldn't even bend my legs, my left knee. But I said, you know what? I'm going to come back here. I don't know when, but it's going to be very soon. 3 years later, I ended up going back to that studio. And ever since then, my whole life has completely changed. I went from 30 degrees range of motion to now 140 degrees. And I practice hot yoga 4 to 5 days a week. And so for those of you that are struggling with knee issues, any sort of health issues, yoga is just it's very healing. It really changes you as a person. Not only do you get to do yoga, but you get also a really good workout and you can go sweat. The other thing I want to share with you guys, people ask me, well, don't you have to be flexible? I'm not like a yoga expert. Like you definitely do not have to be any yoga expert. Even though I've had, the 3 procedures, yoga is still very challenging for me. I not only practice 26 and 2, but I love to practice vinyasa flow. I like to practice power. There's different forms of different yoga classes. Sculpt is also really great. You literally take weights and you're moving with the beat of the music, and you can find a great studio, wherever you live. If you don't have access to hot yoga, I really challenge you to try just yoga itself. You can get free classes even online. Go to YouTube. But I just really encourage you to just try it. When I first started doing yoga, I actually bought this CD called Yoga for the Rest of Us. It was yoga for practically any age. I just started with 10 minutes of stretching, and it really started to help my lower back. And so, just the other thing I want to tell you, in taking these yoga classes, I still struggle with, some of these postures. By no means am I perfect. I've been practicing for about a year and 3 months, almost a year and a half. And, I'll be completely open with you guys. There's times that I just go in there and I just get into child's pose and I just want to sweat. I'm like, I don't feel like doing any of these positions. And I'm just very vulnerable with myself, and nobody really cares. It's your practice. So it's the biggest piece of advice that I can give you if you have wanted to try yoga. it's a practice, and you're there for yourself. You're not there for anybody else. You know, there may be some yoga studios that you go to and, oh, it's about looking all cute and like trying to have the straight legs and all this and this and that. But it's not true. Go to a yoga studio, be yourself. And you'll notice too that when you do find the right studio for yourself, because there's a lot of great ones out there, is you start to be around that sort of environment of like-minded people, you know, coming to heal their mind, body, and soul. And that also changes you as a person because you're in that community. So that's my beautiful message for you guys. I really appreciate you guys listening to today's episode. And I would love to hear benefits, even just one benefit that you've gotten from practicing hot yoga or any sort of type of yoga. And I look forward to hearing about your beautiful healing journey and health. And I will catch you next week. Have a beautiful day.